got this. All right. Hello, my friend in the What's Up in Makeup community, collective brain of makeup awesomeness. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here in live chat. Those of you that are here live, sorry I'm running a couple minutes late. Had a little issue with the show this morning. YouTube decided that it forgot that the time changed, apparently. And yeah, What's Up in Makeup didn't go live when I scheduled it to go live. So I had to fix that and just running a little bit late in general. So I apologize for that. Anyway, today we're going to talk about how we as consumers are going to take care of ourselves, because brands sure as heck aren't going to do it. And we're learning this more and more and more and more, the more that we kind of are educated about what's happening behind the scenes at a lot of companies. So we're going to talk about that as the main focus. And then I've got a couple of ideas of what we're going to talk about after that, but we'll see where the conversation goes. Haven't quite decided where we're going after that. But yeah, there's some things that people are talking about a couple of different brands and different things. Some shady stuff, not shady. I don't know, you're going to have to decide whether it's shady or not. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and say hello to the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, also known as the people that are here in live chat. If you're not watching live, you're participating in the comment section down below. So good morning to Consuelo and Ashley and Tabitha Snow, who was kind enough to order one of my daughter's slimes. My daughter reopened her slime shop under Lila Blue Slimes on Etsy. Thank you, Tabitha, for your purchase. I hope you are loving your slime. I saw your post. Thank you so much for that. Jennifer is here. Banshee Muse is here. Amanda Jax is here. Lola Punk. Teresa M.O., good morning to you. She's got her coffee in her hand. She's ready for chat. Mouthy Mama is here. Faiza is here. Hello to you. Sharon is here. Zaddy Doll. I saw the pronunciation. It's not Zaddy Doll. It's Zaddy Doll. Good morning to you. Hope the food truck business is going well for you. Sunkissed is here, and sincerely, LGS, Jackie, and Kenna. Kenna! What's up, Kenna? If you haven't seen Kenna's YouTube channel, go check it out. She is flipping amazing. All right, so before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping as far as the live chat. I'm going to ask the people that are here in live chat, in order to keep it peaceful and enjoyable to read, if you cannot write in all capital letters and if you cannot use excessive emojis, would really appreciate it. I'm going to work really hard on only reading comments that are written in a very pleasant way to read in lowercase. It's just, you know, there are certain things that are like pet peeves for people, and I want to keep everybody happy. I want to keep everything peaceful. So if you could do that for me, would really, really appreciate it. Moderators are here to help keep everything peaceful, so please be kind to them. They are volunteers, so really appreciate that. Michelle Wong in the house, who just made it to 100,000 subscribers. Congratulations to my friend. I appreciate you. All right, so this is what happened, okay? Oh, you know what? Let me just make sure I got her channel right, okay? There's a brand new drama channel that sent me a DM, and her name is Max Sposed, M-A-X-P-O-S-E-D. I think that she has 2 videos up so far. She sent me a DM, and the DM included some information from Nudestix. That Nudestix was saying that their products were vegan, and there are people that are questioning that they're vegan because it contains bee propolis. You know, this is the thing. I don't even want to go into what bee propolis is. It's a bee. It comes from bees somehow, because the reason I'm not getting into it is I don't fully understand what's happening with bee propolis. I'm sure there are wonderful people in the collective brain. That's why we're the collective brain, that do know what the deal is with bee propolis, how it's harvested, how it's made, all of that. I don't quite get it. Let me go ahead and show you the screenshot she sent. Hi babe, propolis is vegan and soy-derived extract. We are a vegan, 100% cruelty-free brand. And then even Curiouser says propolis or bee glue is a resinous mixture that honeybees produce by mixing saliva and beeswax with exudate? I've never heard that word. Well, maybe I have. Gathered from tree buds, sap flows, or other botanical sources. It is used as a sealant for unwanted spaces in the hive. I don't know. And then Mountain Mom says, good point, propolis is from bees, therefore not vegan. I'm not vegan, but I don't like false claims. All right, let me go ahead and flip you back over. Actually, before I do that, hopefully I can, this is a website that I found that looked, I don't know anything about this website. It looks like it's just a blog. And I'm going to put this link down in the description box down below. Oozing with Controversy, the Honey Debate, Vegan or Not Vegan. And the idea behind this article is it talks about the arguments for vegan honey and bee-derived ingredients as being vegan or not vegan. And there is a debate there. There is a debate there, believe it or not. So I will put that article down below for you so you can read it more thoroughly. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Whoop. Okay. Oh, you know what I realized? I'm like really dark today. I forgot to change the brightness. Oh well, I guess I'm just gonna be dark today. I hate when I do that. Let me see if I can fix it because it's gonna drive me crazy. Hold on a second. See if I can fix it. La 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 la. Ah! Okay, all right, we'll fix it. Okay. Sorry if you have headphones in and I just totally just blast out your ears. I sincerely apologize. All right, I feel better now. Okay. I just looked really, I couldn't stand the way I was looking at myself. Okay. So this is the thing, okay? I don't know how bee propolis is I don't know if it can be vegan or not. I don't know. This is the thing. At least in the US, that's all I can speak for. And actually, I read in Europe as well, in the EU, for the EU regulations. There's no legal definition of what vegan is and what vegan isn't. Therefore, it is up to the individual vegan to decide what is vegan for them. It is not a life or, well, I'm going to say life or death because it could be life or death. That was a terrible example. It's not a thing that you must be this, and this, and you have to be this way or else you are not vegan. Like, everybody has to decide what's best for them as an individual. So if you are worried about the bee population, if you've done research that says that whatever ingredient that you're using is harmful to bees and you feel like that's really bad and you don't want to use bee products, then what we need to do as consumers is look at the ingredient list and make sure there's no bee products. You know what I'm saying? Like, we cannot trust these brands to say, I'm vegan. My ingredient, you know, whatever it is, we can't trust it. We have to keep looking for ourselves. Zadidal says in the EU, propolis is listed as vegetarian, not vegan, under the same new laws that were to go into effect in 2020. I didn't realize that there were specific laws there, Zadidal. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I'm wrong. Jen James says, I'm sorry, I have a question. Don't vegans eat honey as it's a naturally made substance? I'm sorry if it offends anybody that I asked that, but that's what I always thought. So I think it just depends on the individual person and what we're learning, like okay, so this all started recently with the whole BoxyCharm thing, where people were getting, you know, the thing with Storybook Cosmetics. Storybook Cosmetics typically was made in the United States. The BoxyCharm product from Storybook Cosmetics was made in China. So if, you know, you don't want products that are made in China for one reason or another, or if you feel like that's not a good thing, then that's something you need to take into consideration as a consumer. You know, when I reviewed from FabFitFun and Periscope changed the ingredients, mixed up the ingredient list a bit for their product that was in FabFitFun. They do say that it's a permanent change, but they mixed up the ingredient list. We have to realize that the law is not on our side here. The law is not taking care of it. It's not protecting us. We need to look out for ourselves. And then we go into the whole Morphe thing that we've been talking about, you know, where they had the Jaclyn Hill palette listed as vegan. And we don't know when it changed over to having carmine, which is not a vegan ingredient. It comes from a dead animal, and a bug is technically an animal. If you look at, you know, National Geographic, bugs are technically considered animals. It's got a bug in it, and that's not vegan from all vegan standards that I understand what vegan is. So, you know, we can't trust the brand to make the changes that we need to see. I mean, it sucks. It really sucks, but they're not our friends. And we've said this for multiple weeks. We just need to take care of ourselves. April says, vegan has become a buzzword, just like clean beauty. There aren't guidelines. And I think that, you know, we need to make up what clean beauty means to us. I don't think clean beauty is inherently a bad thing. It's just when brands use it as marketing in order to sell something, and it's really not clean when you think about ingredients. Well, if you're trying to go for ingredients that aren't going to harm you in any way, clean beauty isn't necessarily going to take care of you as far as the way that brands are defining it. So we need to decide as consumers, we need to figure out, okay, what are the ingredients that we don't want in our products? What are things that we have a problem with? Maybe we have an allergy, maybe we have a sensitivity, maybe we have a preference as far as, palm oil derivatives that are just, tearing down the palm trees is destroying the rainforest. So a lot of people don't use palm oil derivatives. We need to educate ourselves on the things that are important to us and then read ingredient lists. Ingredient lists can be extremely intimidating. I can tell you that 100%. They're extremely intimidating because some of those words are so multisyllabic. It's like, how do you even start to know what this stuff is? But I'm telling you, if I can learn it, like, you can learn it. I guarantee you can. It's just taking the time and deciding that that's something you care about. And honestly, there's some people that just don't care. And that's okay too. You're your own person. Like, you have to decide what's best for you. All right, Grace says, I'm not vegan nor I'm a vegetarian. However, I don't think that any animal byproducts can be considered vegan if it's ethically sourced. It's certainly cruelty-free, but I doubt it's vegan. Well, cruelty-free specifically has to do with animal testing. Cruelty-free and vegan are completely separate categories. Something can be cruelty-free and not vegan. Something can be not vegan and cruelty-free. They are completely separate because cruelty-free specifically, it's confusing because things that happen to things that go into products can be cruel. They can be absolutely cruel, but that doesn't make it cruelty-free. Isn't that crazy? Like, cruelty-free just has to only do with animal testing, specifically animal testing. So Steph says, how about we save the honeybees since they're endangered and their furry little butts are so cute? I agree. And as far as what Grace was saying, I don't think any animal byproducts can be considered vegan. And that was my understanding too, Grace. But I do think that it's up to the individual consumer to decide. Like, I had a friend who was vegan, and then she decided that she was going to start eating fish and become a pescatarian. And she just had to constantly define who she was. And it's like, I don't think that necessarily even needs to be announced to the world of what you choose to be, You can choose to be whatever level of whatever you want, do no harm to other people, Annika says, cruelty-free can still burn your skin and torture you during your morning routine. Humans are not safe. Annika kind of has a point. You have to figure out what's best for you is what it comes down to. You have to figure out what's best for you. Kate says, I'm not vegan, but for people saying cow byproducts don't hurt them, milk, cheese, etc., for a cow to give milk, that cow has to have recently given birth, and they usually take the baby away after. Well, and also, from what I understand, and again, I'm not super educated on this, so please don't, do your own research on this, but a lot of the ways that cows are treated when they're being used for milk are not kind. You just have to do your own research when it comes down to it. And I don't think we can trust brands. What is the sound in the background? Melissa wants to know. My husband is over there hanging some curtains. So if you hear sound in the background, maybe that's it. Paula says, I love the ThinkDirty app too, but how accurate are they? Okay, this is the problem with the ThinkDirty app, and Kenna made a whole video on this. If you search for KENNA, ThinkDirty, Kenna made a whole video on this. I believe Dr. Dre also made a whole video on this. The problem with ThinkDirty is it's based on EWG. Environmental Working Group does some things well and some things not so well. And the things that they don't do well is sometimes they take research that is not applicable to cosmetic products, and they make it seem like it is applicable to cosmetic products. So like, for example, let's say I want to test, I don't know, ethahexylpalmitate. I want to test it. So what I do is I get a rabbit or a mouse or whatever, and I put 100% concentration of ethahexylpalmitate on this rat or whatever it is. And maybe I expose them to the sun to an artificial sunlight for 24 hours a day for 3 weeks. And then they get these results that this ingredient causes X, Y, and Z. And then they put it out there, and then EWG says, it's so bad or whatever. But it's the conditions that some of these studies are never going to happen, because whenever you have an ingredient, it's going to be mixed with other things. You're never going to be in the sunlight for 24 hours. You're never going to apply it 100% concentration. It's just not, it's not 100% accurate when it comes to what we're using the information for. So what I used to take EWG very seriously. I used to even put the little ratings in my video. Like I was that like, but I've learned since then. I mean, that's all we can do as humans is continue to learn. So Zombie Trash, is EWG unbiased? I don't know. I don't think that they're paid by companies in order to say something is good or bad. I don't believe. I don't know. It's one of those things where EWG and ThinkDirty are really interesting starting places. If you're not sure where to start as far as learning what ingredients may be good or bad or whatever, EWG is a good place to start. So what you do, you can go into ThinkDirty, find out about ingredients, and then do more research on your own. And look into it and see if you can find corroborating sources from multiple places that say the same thing, that are not just, Diana, sorry to the Diana's out, Diana sitting in her, on her couch, watching The Real Housewives and typing a blog, from scientific, people that are chemists, people that have worked in the cosmetic industry, people that are, more official sources. Sandra says, question everything. Totally agree. I totally agree. Karen says, if you want to save the bees, use bee products like beeswax, honey, and propolis. Harvesting those products is no way hurts the bees and in turn makes it worthwhile for beekeepers to stay in business. I did read in that one article that one thing that sometimes they do with bees when they're not being responsible is they'll harvest the honey from the beehive and they'll replace it with a sugar substance instead, which is not good for the bees. So that's something that I just don't know. I don't know as far as what, how much truth there is to that, or I just don't know. Kenna says, EWG does have verified brands now, and it costs money to apply, and then it costs money for the license to have their approval. It's turning into a marketing sales platform as well, and it isn't reliable. Thank you so much for that, Kenna. Thank you for sharing that. So, according to Kenna, yeah, it's kind of like Better Business Bureau and how they work is what it sounds like. So sad, so sad. And I know that Zadidal said something up a little higher. I want to see if I can find that because someone said that it was good. La, 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 la. Okay, Zadidal says, not true on milk cows being treated badly by farmers. That's their money, so they treat them well. Watch the Tillamook cow rancher who raises cows for Tillamook. I think that it's going to depend on the farm, from what I understand. I mean, this is something that I honestly, this is something we just have to research for ourselves. So, I mean, I've definitely read some things that there are cows that can be treated very poorly. So maybe it just depends on the farm. Yeah, Amber says vegan equals no animal products or byproducts. But see, when we go back to the Nudestix thing, let's go back to what they said. They said propolis is a vegan and soy-derived extract. That's what I'm confused about. Soy-derived. How is it soy? Soybeans are a thing. How do you get bee propolis from soybeans? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's very confusing. Ginger says, I've been on a small dairy farm. I saw how much the farmer cared for his cows. And I'm definitely not trying to say that all dairy farms are bad. Please don't take it that way because that's not what I'm saying at all. Yeah, Mama Mia says, yes, I get raw milk from a local farm. They treat the cows good. Yeah, it just depends on where. And this is something that we all need to do more research on. So the point is you need to decide what you as a human are passionate about. What are you passionate about? What do you care about? What's your thing? What do you want to make a difference about in this world? And then do your own research. You can't trust brands to tell you their ingredient lists have changed. You can't trust brands to tell you that they're cruelty-free when they may not be. Okay, let's go into a little bit about PETA certification. In case you don't know, PETA certification is very, very easy to get. All you need to do is contact PETA, say, hey, we're cruelty-free. And they're like, cool, here's a bunny. That's legit how it works, simplified. But that's pretty much how it works. So there's a lot of trust in there from the consumer. Could the brands be telling the truth? 100% absolutely. Could they just want to sell more products? 100% absolutely. And sometimes brands will take the PETA bunny or some other bunny and they will put it on their products. They'll take a random bunny, a bunny that's not the PETA bunny. It's not the Cruelty Free International bunny. It's just a random bunny. that looks kind of like them, and they'll just slap it on their products. So, I mean, really, my favorite thing for Cruelty Free is going to Cruelty Free International. Their list, you have to pay money to get on it. You have to prove a lot of things. And also cruelty-free bloggers are really, really good to keep up with that because they're extremely passionate and they're looking out for the consumer. And after the video is over, I will put some of my favorite cruelty-free bloggers down below. So, I mean, when it comes out, like I said, we just need to look out for ourselves. So, speaking of that, I do want to mention very quickly, because I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but I do want to mention that, you know, I did speak briefly, well, for like an hour with Jaclyn Hill through DM. She did contact me. I had tweeted to her and I said my DMs are always open, so she did DM me. And we talked for about an hour. And, you know, I think that it would be rude of me to show you private DMs, so I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to say about it is that I feel like she's at a point where she needs to look into some things before she says anything publicly. I don't know if she'll ever say anything publicly. I can't guarantee she's going to say anything publicly, but she did tell me she's looking into some things, and that she told me, this is what she told me, that she is very concerned, and she is going to be looking into some things. And it's a shame. It's a shame that it's taken this for this to happen. But I do want to thank her for contacting me and trying to talk to me and trying to, you know, give me answer the questions that I had asked of her. I think it's important to remember, like, you know, I think that sometimes it's easy to separate the human being from the person that is on the screen. And it's easy to forget that they are human. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't hold people accountable, and we shouldn't, you know, that we should just let shady behavior just slide. You know, we need to take care of, like I said, we need to take care of each other. And when something isn't right, when something seems wrong, we need to say something and clear it up and figure out what is going on. And if we don't do that, then we end up buying crap. We end up buying things that are not what we expected. You know, we end up buying things that we thought, like the palette, the Jaclyn Hill palette, people thought and were told that it was the original 2017 formula, and we learned that it wasn't. And I think it's important to get that information out there so people know what they're buying. So when you go to the store, you know what you're buying and you can invest properly. And when I recommend that palette to people, like, I recommend it based on my experience from 2017. If I don't know that it's changed, then I'm telling my friends and family to spend money on something that I can't vouch for. And I think that's where it's really important to hold people accountable and make sure that the correct information is out there and look out for each other. But at the same time, understanding that mistakes do happen. You know, I mean, just one of those things. So Casey says she's a business owner and should have asked questions about the formula changes that Morphe said were going on. It was her formula. Wouldn't she want to know what the changes were? I agree 100%. And I'm hoping that she gets some answers and chooses to share those with her audience, because I think it's important. I mean, but I think, you know, I deleted probably 30 comments from my video at least, that were not criticizing Jaclyn as a person, but criticizing her outward appearance, you know, just saying really mean, horrible, awful things. And, you know, I don't condone that. I don't think that that's okay. You know, it's one thing to criticize the choices someone's made, to try to clear the air, to try to get the proper information out there, get the correct information out there, but to make fun of somebody, I don't think that that's okay. So I deleted all of the comments. So if you left one of those, it's no longer there. I deleted them. You know, I just, you know, criticize the actions, the behaviors, not things that people can't control. You know what I'm saying? Zadidal says, the problem with Jaclyn is she constantly tells things that aren't true or can be verified by something else. Mistakes always happen with her. And I agree with you. And I think that she needs to be more diligent in making sure that the information she presents is accurate. And I think that, you know, when she tells a story, I forget whose video I was watching. I watched so many videos, like, and they're all kind of jumbled in my head over the past few weeks. You know, just, you know, that she says, you know, her end game, her end goal was to sell product. That's what she always wanted to do, was to create product and sell product. So, you know, we need to take that statement seriously, is that, you know, there are some people that go onto YouTube that their end goal is to make connections with people, to help people, to, you know, to make the world a better place kind of thing. There are people that, you know, with DIYs, want to teach you a new craft or, you know, whatever. There's all kinds of reasons for people to get on YouTube. Jaclyn has said multiple times her reason to come on YouTube was to sell product. And I'm not saying that makes her the devil. There are a lot of people that love selling things. That's just their thing. They're really good at it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. We just need to realize that that's what it is and say, okay, that's what it is. Cool. Noted. You know what I'm saying? It's just, if someone is there to sell you something, just recognize that. And that's cool. You know, and I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of anger in our society today. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of trauma of things that people have gone through in their past. And I think sometimes it's easy to try to get that out of your body by taking it out on somebody else. And it's just not fair to that person. You know? Casey says, but you can't sell product if you can't be trusted at all, especially in the cancel culture we've created. That's true. And people just have to decide for themselves whether that's a place they want to purchase. It goes back to our original topic. You know, we need to decide where our deal breakers are. And I don't think that it's right to impose my deal breakers on you, for you to impose your deal breakers on me. I think it's up to the individual person to decide what's best for them. And if somebody feels like they really like the new Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 and they love the colors and they want to try it, that's up to them if they want to purchase it. And then you'll have a vegan that says there's carmine in there, I will not purchase it. There are people that say, I don't like the choices that Jaclyn Hill has made in the past, therefore I'm not going to purchase it. I don't like the choices Morphe has made in the past, therefore I'm not going to purchase it. And I think that all of those are very valid reasons for purchasing or not purchasing, but we just need to, I just don't get why we have to impose all the time our opinions on other people, and if they don't do the same thing, that person's an awful person, you know? Lisa, I think it's sad that Morphe let her post a video bragging about her new palette, standing behind it, being the exact same, and knowing it was not the same until you confronted them. You got a good point, Lisa, but I don't know if she ran her video by Morphe before she posted it. And if she did, would Morphe have said anything? Remember, Morphe doesn't have feelings. It's an inanimate object kind of thing. It is a business. And from what I understand, that they have a lot of investors now, I guess, or they had someone buy it. I can't remember the exact story of what happened. But, you know, the Morphe of 3-4 years ago most likely isn't the same as the Morphe of today as far as the care for consumers that they may have once had. I don't know if they ever did, honestly. But if they ever did care about consumers back in the day, there's a chance that they may not care as much now because they've grown to such a huge level, you know? And like I was talking about with my husband earlier, and we're going to take a break in just a second. We're talking about, you know, this is not new to selling things. I mean, this has been since the start of advertisement. We were talking about, you know, sugar cereals on the shelf. You know, you grab a box of Lucky Charms and it says, vitamin infused, you know, all your daily dose of vitamin whatever, and you know, you're, you know, healthy and nutritious on all of these things, and then you see how much sugar is in it, how processed it is, you know, all of those things, and you have to be that smart consumer that looks down the breakfast aisle and is like, yeah, about 80% of this stuff is not breakfast, it's actually dessert when you come down to it nutritionally. So I mean, this is not new. This is not new behavior, and I think it's just when we exactly. Cashmere Witch says Stephanie Nicole warned everyone, and look at things now. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. I think that we're bringing it to the forefront now in the beauty industry that we need to look out for ourselves no matter where it is. And if we don't like what a company is doing, then we don't need to buy from them anymore. What it comes down to. All right, let's go ahead and hold on a second. Oh, lovely pulsing light in the background, Kaylee. This light looks like it's blinking for you, but it's actually not for me. It's actually just a light, but I think it looks cool. Huh? It's from IKEA, John says.
But it's because of the shutter speed on the camera that it looks like it's pulsing.
Okay, did you hear that? He says because of the shutter speed on the camera that it looks like it's pulsing, but it's not. All right, we're 30 minutes in, so let's go ahead and take a little break, and I'll tell you what's on my face. All right, by the way, this mug drives me insane. I forget where I got this. It might have been like Cafe Press or somewhere, but I absolutely cannot stand that they printed the print on the front of the mug. Have you ever seen this anywhere where they print the print on the front of the mug and not the side so you can't like? Horribly annoying, but I still like my it says, if you can't read it, it says all I need is coffee and mascara and I'm good to go. Maybe a little eyeshadow, a little lip gloss too. All right, so on my eyes today, I decided to go back into the vault of eyeshadows. Do y'all remember these buxom eyeshadow palettes? I love these. I actually got a bunch of these with Ipsy points because people were signing up for Ipsy using my link when I used to review Ipsy. I got a bunch of Ipsy points and they had these for free with Ipsy points, so I got a bunch of them. So these are the shades I'm wearing on my eyes today. The fatal flaw in these was the price point. Building up this, 6-pan palette, I think ended up costing around $50 when you bought the shades individually. That was where Buxom went wrong on this. They also tried it with mascara around the same time where they had like different wands. So you could choose your like mascara formula and then you could choose your wand shape. And it ended up adding up to like $30 or something for a mascara. I was like, anyway, so the shades on my eyes, and I'm pretty sure these still exist. This one is called Diamond Darling. I have to take them all out individually. This one is on my lower lash line here to here. This is the light green that's on my eyes. I love this shade. It is called Room Service. And I love that. Out in my outer corner, I do have this shade. It's called Dusk Till Dawn. And then in my crease, I have the shade Big Spender. And then down on my lower lash line on the outer corner, I have Haute Couture. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. And then on my brow bone, I have, it's just typical cream brow bone shade for people of my complexion. This is called Mix and Mingle. So this is what I used on my eyes today. And they really are great quality. It's such a shame that they had to make the price point so insanely ridiculous that you're paying, $50 for 6-pan eyeshadow palette. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. But it was a cool concept. So you pull it out like this. Isn't that neat? Really smart. Just overpriced. On my lips today, I have a mix of 2 shades from Ofra. These were sent in PR. This is Verona and Baroque. And then on my cheeks, I just used the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer because that was what I was feeling today. And then I used the highlighter in Gilded Honey by Laura Geller. I did notice... Now you're not going to be able to see it. It's going to be one of those things. Don't think about the pink elephant and then think about the pink elephant. It Cosmetics, I'm not on It Cosmetics PR. Just every once in a while, maybe once or twice a year, something shows up from It Cosmetics. I don't know. This is their Celebration Foundation in the shade Light. I used this today and it's too dark for me. I had about 20 minutes before I had to come on camera and I was doing my makeup and I just went down my face and I was like, welp. Guess I'm going to be a little Oompa Loompa today. The shade Light is too dark for me, apparently, which is very odd for me. Usually light is a pretty good match for me. And it looks like it's going to be a good match. Like, it looks good until I swatched it. And then I was like, oh, like, well, you can't see it there, but it's too dark for me. So I apologize if I have a little bit of neck face action happening. I tried to bring it down a little bit, but then it started turning into a mess. And I was like, I just gave up. And I had to be in here, so... So that's what's on my face today. Ray says, just subscribe to your channel from the Philippines. Thank you so much for being here. Naomi says, didn't people really dislike the Buxom eyeshadow formula? Not that I know of. I loved it. I really liked it. You know what? This is the thing, Naomi. This is what happened is they made some of these that were pre-made, and they had like, there was one that had like a leopard print on it. There were people that didn't like that one. But these were the singles. I remember people not liking that leopard print one, and I think there was another one that they had pre-made that people didn't like. I didn't get those though. So Marcus says, I love Rona. I do too. It's one of my favorites. AHSD with a bunch of letters, is talc bad for the skin? There is a lot of, talc is a tricky topic because if it's sourced properly, from what I understand from my knowledge, Kenna can correct me if I'm wrong, is that if it's sourced properly, it can be used just fine. But if it's not sourced properly, a lot of times it's a natural mineral and it grows near, it forms, not grows, but it forms near asbestos. So if it's not mined properly, if it's mined in a place that has a lot of asbestos can get into the talc. And if you have a company that just doesn't care about consumers, like we were talking about earlier, they're just going to throw it in. And cosmetics they don't need to be tested before they go on the shelves. So that's why it's really important to really look into what we're buying. So there have been a lot of issues with less expensive cosmetics, such as cosmetics from Claire's, the tween store Claire's, Justice, which is another tween store, from China, the makeup that you can get for Halloween. There's been a lot of asbestos and other lead and feces and things and just awful found in Halloween makeup, very cheaply made Halloween makeup. Where else? Some stuff that we have a store called Five Below. There was an issue with some products that were sold there. I forget what the name of it. City Color, I believe, was the name of the brand there. So we just need to be really careful. And the problem is that there's no way to know unless you get it tested at a lab, which is extremely expensive. So, yeah. Angie says people haven't trusted Morphe for years. Pick one of the hundreds of other brands available and just do not purchase. It's totally, that's what you have to do if that's what you have to do. Absolutely. Okay. I'm trying to find things to talk about. Jezebelly says Buxom used to make these fat retractable eye pencils that were multi-use. I love them and they discontinued them. Does anybody remember that product? I never used those. Yeah. So if you watch What's Up in Makeup today, there was a story about a woman accusing Revlon, a Revlon product, of giving her mesothelioma from a product that is now discontinued that she'd been using for a long time. And it's just, if our government, if the FDA and our government, if there was enough funding for the FDA to take care of us as consumers, and they actually cared, there would be more strict regulations on ingredients that are going into cosmetics. But it's just not a priority. It's just not a priority right now, unfortunately. So Ivy Wolf says in the Victorian times, people used talc to make their faces white due to asbestos powder being in it. It was absorbed into the skin and breathed in, and they died due to lung issues from it. That's true. I have read that. Okay, Zadidol, City Color, Claire's, and Justice were brands that had issues with asbestos in their products. The items were made in China. Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So what I always say, if you're looking for Halloween makeup, if you're looking for makeup for tweens or teens, going into the drugstore and just, not paying the $1 for something, but buying, Wet n Wild, buying Essence makeup, buying, products that are from larger brands that are less likely to want to jeopardize their reputation over having these kinds of problems. People are asking about the Wayne Goss situation. Ginger says, I saw the first, Ginger Genie. I saw the first Wayne Goss video before he took it down. It sounded like he had cooked a crooked accountant who has now been replaced. Yeah. If you don't know who Wayne Goss is, he's a makeup artist. He's been on this platform forever. He's someone that a lot of people look up to. And he had an issue where he lost a lot of money financially, and he put up a video about it. He has a brush brand that is sold at Beautylish, and he's working on a makeup brand. And a lot of the money from his brush brand he no longer has due to him owing it somewhere. It was very vague. He took the video down because people were starting GoFundMes for him, and he did not want that. So actually someone had tweeted me his GoFundMe, and I thanked them for sharing it with me. And my response was, when Wayne approves this GoFundMe, then I will retweet it. Until then, I will not retweet it. And then it came out that Wayne did not want the GoFundMe. So I think it's really important when we're looking out for people, like, to make sure that we're doing things that we will genuinely help them. But it's hard with influencers. I know I'm umming a lot. It's hard with influencers because you don't necessarily have a direct line of communication in order to ask those kinds of questions. And I don't think that Wayne answers a lot of his comments. So I would imagine, people were just trying to do something kind, and he knew it was people were trying to do something kind. But I think that, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of, I don't know if it's overstepping. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but I don't know. So he just seems like a really nice guy, and I wish him all the best, and I hope his makeup line's amazing. I do plan on reviewing it, and I hope that it's amazing. I really do. S. Jackson says, new to your channel, I want to thank you for all the helpful info you did in your primer video. I've been using Glam Glow Mega Illuminating Moisturizer as a primer. Do you have any other info on Glam Glow? My goal of the videos that I make, when I make primer videos, when I made the lip balm video, is to give you enough information so that you can go into an ingredient list and you can look at it yourself. Because again, we need to look out for ourselves and not companies looking out for us. So I'm trying to give you the tools so that you can look into that. So I don't personally know anything, but hopefully you've gained a lot of information from the video that I did, and hopefully you can apply that to that product. I'm really sorry, I don't know. So I'm sorry. We're just popping topics, by the way. We've got about 20 minutes left or so. We're just gonna pop topics around. Alyssa says, I would love to see a collab with you and Robert and James Welsh, the twins. I adore them. If you've never seen Robert and James Welsh, they seem like very stand-up humans. So, totally agree. Angie says, Wayne is a makeup master like Scott Barnes. He does give some really great advice. Absolutely. Okay, Susie says, I'm watching 30 minutes behind, but as a vegan, I can definitely tell you vegans do not eat honey at all. And that was my understanding too, the vegans don't eat honey. But I don't know. I mean, if you want to, go for it. I think, like I said, you have to decide for yourself. And I think sometimes we want to put all these labels on things because it's easy for our brain to process. But you have to do what feels right in your heart. And if it feels wrong to consume or to purchase bee products, then you should not consume or purchase them. Angie says, do you feel like releases are slowing down with a minimalist outlook of 2020, or are people less interested? I don't think it's slowing down at all. If you saw late breaks, Makeup Revolution is coming out with another brand, XX Revolution. Okay, Makeup Revolution, they have Makeup Revolution. They have Makeup Obsession. There's another one. What is it? I don't know, I forget. I think there's a third one. And now they're coming out with XX Revolution. It's like, I don't think it's slowing down. I don't. And I have to say, I went into my local Ulta and I looked at the Makeup Revolution section, and it was so stinking adorable. Like, I saw a woman over there checking it out, and I was like, if I didn't know better, I would be over there just picking up everything and buying stuff. I personally find Makeup Revolution eyeshadows specifically to be very hit and miss, mostly on the miss side. I would rather, just functionally wise, Profusion does send me PR. Makeup Revolution did send me PR. I don't know if I'm still on Makeup Revolution PR list or not. I might still be. But if I had to choose between Profusion and Makeup Revolution, I would choose Profusion. I find they have more hits than Makeup Revolution does. Makeup Revolution is I Heart Revolution. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Makeup Revolution does packaging really, really well. They do concepts really, really well. They do copying other people's concepts really, really well. Where Profusion, I feel like they're just, trying to put out good product at a low price. Sometimes they hit the mark, sometimes they don't. But Sunkissed says, I feel like the no buy and low buy ideas are gaining steam. It will take a bit for brands to catch up. Plus, it's not exactly in brands' interest. I think the only thing that's going to stop brands from overproducing is less consumption. When they realize that people aren't going to purchase every single thing that comes out. But I don't think that it's going to slow down until the consumers stop buying so much and they start losing profits by overproducing. As long as they're continuing to make profits, then, I think it's going to continue. Diamond Doll says, Wayne's voice and accent are so sexy that I have to watch all his voice twice to really pay attention to what he's doing. He does have quite a nice voice, as my husband stands over there hanging up my curtains. We're doing, if you didn't know, so we started doing some product shots. My husband is helping me with them because he's much more into photography and things like that. So we're changing the background for the product shots, and I think you're really going to love it. It's really fun. YouTube can be so fun, just the creativity of it and everything. So he's doing a fantastic job over there. I wish I could show you, but I can't turn the camera over there. But you'll see it soon enough, I'm sure, in a video. Laura Mack says, BoxyCharm April sneak peek shows the pure Barbie palette. Have you tried it? No, I haven't. And I have committed myself that when I get any subscription box, whether it's BoxyCharm or FabFitFun or whatever, I will double check the ingredients and I will check and see if they match the ingredients that are on the website or whatever. I will try my best to see if there's any inconsistencies in it and let you know if I see anything, because I think it's important for you to know what you're buying and what you're putting on your face when it comes down to it. And I want to do better at looking at vegan ingredients and seeing when there's something that's obviously not vegan. Now, this is something we did talk about the vegan thing that I want to bring up, because people were talking about, and I know there's videos that were made about the James Charles palette possibly not being vegan from Morphe. The problem with that is when you look at the ingredient list for the James Charles Morphe palette, there are no ingredients in there, even today, if you go over there today, that scream out this is not vegan, such as a bee product, lanolin, such as, carmine or whatever, like those ones that stand out where that this is not a vegan product. There's none of those. The thing is it's sourcing. Sometimes an ingredient can have the same name, but it can be sourced differently. I'll give you the example of squalane. Squalane can be sourced, which it doesn't seem to be commonly sourced from shark livers, or it can be sourced from plants, which most of the time it's olives. So a brand can put squalane in an ingredient list, and we don't know whether it's sourced from shark livers or whether it's sourced from olives. The difference is, from what I've read, is that when they source it from shark livers, they get a lot of it. But of course, it's a lot harder to come by. You have to go to a place where it's legal to kill sharks, and then you have to get that. There are parts of the world that still eat shark meat, so you would have to get it from someplace like that. I know when we went to Iceland, they sold shark meat in the grocery store. So you have to harvest it, and you get a ton of it, but it's hard to get. When you get it from olives or another plant-based source, it's a lot easier to get, but you have to have a lot of olives or a lot of whatever it is you're getting it from. You have to have a lot of it in order to make the same amount. So it's that trade-off. And plus you have, customers that want a vegan product versus not a vegan product. So my point is that we don't know where the squalane was sourced when we see that in an ingredient list. The only way to know is to ask the brand. So I email brand, and I get, hello, this is brand customer service. How may I help you? Hello, brand. I was wondering, is your squalane vegan or is it animal based? And customer service person is sitting there, getting their $5.99 an hour or whatever. And they're like, I don't know. I think it's vegan. It's vegan. It's vegan. Yeah, it's vegan. Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally vegan. They didn't know. They just didn't answer anything. So it's like even asking the brand sometimes. Like when I asked Morphe if their, ingredients had changed, the two people I talked to were like, basically said, no, it didn't change. But then Morphe said, yeah, it had changed because the evidence was put out there. So, oh, somebody said baby shark. Baby shark. I'm not going to, did I just get it in your head? I'm sorry if I did that to you. I'm sorry. So anyway, just have to we just have to do the best we can when it comes down to it. We just have to do the best we can. So, Dob C. Sec says, according to Dr. Berg, 99% of squalene cosmetics are derived from olives. And I would imagine that they are. But we don't, but that was just an example because we don't know. And there are lots and lots and lots of ingredients like that, where there is an animal source, where they may get it from animal fat, or they may get it from animal bones, or they may get it from collagen can be sourced from animal or plant. There's so many ingredients that are like that. So when we look at an ingredient list, it's very vague, when we know that there could be an animal source or a plant source. So that's something that Enki needs to get on, and I wish that Enki would require brands to say whether it's, when it could be animal or plant-based, where it comes from. Put a little A next to it or a little P next to it or something. You know what I mean? Like something that would tell us one way or another for people that really do care about that stuff. Lisa says squalane gives me zits. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be skin balancing. I'm so sad for you that happened to you because it's supposed to, its whole purpose is to be skin balancing. It's supposed to mimic the sebum on your skin so your skin doesn't overproduce excess oils. So I'm really sorry that happened to you. So yeah. Macon says, ugh, the one morning my kiddo isn't singing Baby Shark at the top of her lungs. I'm sorry. I apologize. Celicia says, do you review bikini line removal in the summertime? No. Nope. Haven't. What?
I do though.
My husband says he would for his bikini line. I did do a laser hair removal tool. That thing is painful as I would not put that on my bikini line. If you look back in my videos, I know they sent it to me for free. I don't think it was sponsored though. I know I didn't pay for it though, but it does work. Like those laser hair removal tools or whatever, they work, but they just, they're really painful and they're not permanent. You have to have a specific hair color. You have to have a specific skin color. If you have a darker color on your skin, it will burn you. Like I accidentally put it over my, why I said on your skin is because it burned my tattoo where I have a black tattoo on my ankle and I burned my skin. So if you have the wrong skin color, it can burn you. So you just have to be really careful with those hair removal tools. So Melinda says, did you know urea is an ingredient in some skincare? Yes, urea is a fantastic ingredient for dry skin. But urea is not, from what I understand, and again, Kenna can correct me, or anybody that knows more than this can correct me, it is not, the cosmetic kind does not come from urine. Oh, Amy wanted to know the same thing. Yeah, it doesn't come from urine. It's synthetically made a lot of times. So yeah, it's fantastic for dry skin. It's actually one of my favorite ingredients to recommend for dry skin, urea. But it doesn't come from urine. Don't freak out. It's okay. Zadidal says, I believe Tati said her mica is mined in the US, but I'm not 100%. Oh, yeah, I don't know. As far as mica goes, there is some issue with child labor. That's something you can look into. And there's a Refinery 29 video that is very, very eye-opening as far as mica mining and child labor. I definitely recommend you check it out and find a stance on that, whatever your stance may be. But keep in mind that not all mica is mined illegally. There are genuine good sources of mica. The problem is that we don't have a great tracking system. They're working on it. There isn't a great tracking system of where the mica is mined and how it's sourced. By the time it gets to the raw material gets to the company, it's very difficult to know where it was sourced and who actually mined it. So there are some companies and people, especially in India, that I've read that are working on trying to make it more traceable. So Anna says, waxing only really hurts the first couple of times, but after a while you numb up to it. I epilate as well and I barely feel it now. Plus I have bald spots. So yeah, I used to get my eyebrows waxed and I can tell you it hurt every single time. It never got better. I got a downstairs mix-up wax for my honeymoon and I will never get it done again. It was not worth it. All right, we've got about 6 minutes left. Kenna says, thank you, Kenna. No, urea does not come from urine, just a synthetic. No worries, everyone. In reference to mica, synthetic is better as mica mining is too complicated at this point. Totally agree. And if you're looking for synthetic mica, it is called synthetic fluorphlogopite. That is what it's called. So when you're looking for synthetic mica in a product, synthetic fluorphlogopite is the what you want to look for. So, oh, Sassy Sandra is here for her very first live. Oh man, I answered somebody that used a lot of emojis. Sorry, admins, that was my fault. It's the first time I did it though. Felt like I did pretty well until then. Happy to have you here though. Yeah, I think waxing hurts. I do. Indigo Blue Beauty says threading hurts works. I've never gotten threading done. I've seen it done at the mall. They used to have the mall stands. I haven't seen a mall stand doing threading in a while. But you see, and person didn't look like they were screaming. They looked like they were doing all right. But I've never done threading, so I don't know. Christina says, please talk about what you think the possible Jeffree Star palette will be. I have no idea. I don't know. Didn't he say that it was... Didn't he say that it was going to be unique? Like that's something that no one's ever done before? I don't know. I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. Like old Greg. Yes, Joe. Like old Greg. Downstairs mixed up is a joke that my husband and I have talked for a long time. We've always said downstairs mix up. Spelling on that. Okay. Spelling bee time. Synthetic. Traditional spelling. FLURPHLOGOPITE. Fluorphlogopite. How'd I do? Oh, I was supposed to say it first. I was supposed to say it and then say the spelling and then say the word again. I think I got it right though. Jaclyn says, what are your thoughts on Nicole Guerrero? I feel like she's really sweet and doesn't post stuff to buy as much. I was in the same room with Nicole Guerrero one time, so I can't say we have quite a relationship. And this was like, I don't know, 2016, something like that. I loved her Best Damn Beauty skincare line. Her Best Damn Beauty skincare line was excellent. She launched it. And then she never talked about it again. And I did a video on it. And I'm telling you, it is some of the best skincare I ever tried. I loved that stuff. I saw that they are re-releasing her ABH collab, which I think is really cool. Yeah, I don't know much about Nicole Guerrero, to be honest. I would love to see her come back and start putting out content again. I think that would be great. DQT Marie says, I think how you tolerate waxing depends on your pain tolerance. Some people handle better than others. Yeah, it's kind of like tattoos, right? I'm trying to find a comment. Miss Radio Mouse says, Jen, I've been casually watching you for a while, but yesterday I came across your L'Occitane video and you blew my mind. You're amazing. That L'Occitane situation was a bad situation. I haven't heard anything from them since then. Shocker. But you know what's really funny is that somebody sent me a DM on Twitter that they were playing my video in a L'Occitane store. Like they had like those big TVs. And like they were walking by and they had to like do a double take and they were like, what? And they took a picture of it. I'm legit, I'm not even kidding. I don't know if the audio was playing or not, but it was my big old face in the L'Occitane store. The video that I said talking about how L'Occitane was not, we did not get along well in our sponsor video situation. Yeah, I thought that was kind of crazy. And we have a L'Occitane not far from us in our mall. And every time I walk by, we always go, L'Occitane. It's like a thing. Like I have to like make this like demon voice and go, L'Occitane. And like, it's like a thing. I mean, it's over exaggerated. I don't wish any bad on them or anything, but it's just kind of a joke that we constantly tell in my family about it. By the way, thank you, moderators, for being so amazing. I see Flory just kicking butt over here. Thank you so much. I think I also saw that Terry Lee is in the house. Hello to Terry Lee. Happy to have Terry Lee back on the team. If you've been around for a while, Terry Lee was fighting cancer for a couple of years. She was part of our team. She had to take a break because she was battling cancer, and now she is back. She is back, and we're so happy to have her back. She's an amazing person. Just really happy to have her back. So happy to have you here, Terry Lee. Mandy says, Jen, did you do a unique review? I did, and I actually hate that video quite a lot. I've thought about privating it multiple times. I hate that video. It's probably my least favorite video I've ever done. Someone had sent me a bunch of unique stuff, and I did a review, and I just hate it. Those kinds of MLMs, like the ones that, I don't know, I don't want to get into my feelings on MLMs kind of thing, because I could go on for a while on that one, but let me just say, that's not my favorite video of mine. I don't like it. I don't like that video. Ada says, Jen, love you. Always appreciate your moderators. Why are they advising not to use excessive emojis or all caps? Old lady wondering what all that means. Basically, we're just trying to keep the chat very nice and peaceful to read. And also, we're giving everybody the same chance of being seen to have their question talked about. And it's just annoying to scroll through a bunch of emojis and people, because all caps in internet language is yelling. So it's just nice to have a nice peaceful chat. And I really do feel like that the chat has been extremely pleasant to read today. So I want to thank everybody that's here in live chat for making that happen. All right. It's 1 hour in. We're out of time, which makes me really sad. But thank you all so much for being here. After this video is over, I am going to very quickly do as many timestamps as I can, add some links, and then I'm going to an escape room with my family. Here's to hoping we escape. We've escaped both times that we've done an escape room, and I'm hoping that we escape today. Third time's the charm, maybe. We'll see how it goes. We barely made it last time, though. So things give me so much anxiety. All right, I gotta go. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you had a great time in live chat today. We do these every Sunday, usually at 10 a.m. Eastern time, unless we have an interview. If I have an interview, they're usually at 5 p.m. I let you know way ahead of time. If you did enjoy the chat, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, subscribe before you take your leave. Or you can watch another one of my videos. That'd be super cool, but maybe you got stuff to do. Thank you again for being here. Mad love to you, and I will see you very soon. Bye!